Hi everybody, hello, 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 hello. Greetings from Bali. It's just started to bucket down raining and I was out and about and I brought my phone with me, but not my usual phone. And I was meant to have Anne-Marie on here, but I have a weird feeling that this won't let me add someone um, to join me because I'm not on an iPhone. So this is so annoying. I actually totally thought I was going to be able to bring Anne-Marie on with this one, but maybe, let me see, let's have a look and see if I can, because I'm going to just hopefully get her on, because I really want to see her on here. And let me just see. Invite. Oh, I think it's working. Ah, adding. It seems to be working. So I tried to do this with my friend the other day on another, on her page. Let me add anyone. And it's so
Hello!
Christine. Hi. I'm so glad this has
Hi!
worked. I was like, I brought the wrong phone. I brought the wrong phone. And I was like, it's actually working
No
fine. Thank
problem.
you so much. Hey, Anne-Marie, thank you
Thank you
so
so
much
much.
for joining us. Sunday morning in Ireland. In where are you, Anne-Marie?
I'm in Clonakilty in beautiful West Cork.
Gorgeous. Oh my God, it is so beautiful there. And I'm sure there's people from all over the world here in this group, and they will not realize how beautiful it is where Anne-Marie is from. So Anne-Marie, I would love to just like hear a little bit about your story, because I know that you weren't always a decluttering person. That wasn't always what you did, and your journey into it, and maybe share some tips, because I know as part of feng shui, it's an integral part of it, and you've been through our program, so you know the journey of like feng
Yeah.
shui and decluttering and how they work hand in hand. But I would love to hear your insights and some of your story.
Perfect. So I suppose just to give a background, first of all, to the group, Patricia, was I was in the financial sector for over 11 years. Couldn't get my banking exams, but was always decluttering from an early age because my dad would have been diagnosed with cancer in the bone when I was only two. My mum took on the family farm, and that's where I was always organising, putting structures in place, and that's where the seed had planted. But it took a long time for me to realise that.
Yeah, that's where you're from. So, how did you decide? Like, how did you get into? Because I think that a lot of people kind of have fear about stepping out into a whole new zone and work like it's a whole new business.
Totally business. So I suppose I would have started with, I was after the birth of my second child, Quiva, who is now 3 and a bit, going on 16. But I would have, like, at the time, I never knew what, like, I didn't, I suppose, like, know exactly what the word decluttering meant because it was never spoken about. And
Mm.
I started decluttering because I would have moved into my husband's farmhouse here in Clonakilty. And again, there's different old energies. It's an old house. It's nearly maybe 150 years old. So you can imagine all the stories this house has heard, Patricia. It's just, I would
Oh my
say,
God.
crazy. So with this, did a 12-month decluttering course to speed forward, and 12-month decluttering course in Limerick. And part of the journey was to set up your own business. And this all came through really within kind of 24 hours. Came up on my Facebook because I did Google. Like I was saying, I would love this would be my dream job. And the rest is history. White Sage, as you can see, White Sage Home Decluttering was set up in early March 2017 and has grown from strength to strength with a waiting list of up to 2 to 3 months.
I love it. I love it. And you
Yeah.
joined our Feng Shui Mastery program. When was that? That was maybe was it a year ago? Was it a year ago?
Yes,
Maybe about a year.
I'm into the second term, I'd say. So 2 years ago,
Yeah.
Patricia.
Oh my God, that's crazy. Oh my God, the
Yeah,
time just goes so quickly. And like
yeah,
your journey has really been like for me, I just feel like sometimes you're like one of my dream people. Like when you joined, it was a very different picture to where you are now. Like you didn't have a wait list, first of
yeah.
all, I don't think.
Yeah. Like I would have been, do you know, I would have had nice clients. Do you know what? There would have been kind of a bit of a drought. There might have been a good gap between clients, but I suppose I stepped in and I suppose I put it out to the universe what I wanted, what I was available for, what I wasn't available for. And then the phone started ringing. I would have worked with a client this month, or this year, I should say, for nearly over 4 months. And the waiting list kind of continued, so it was just amazing. It's been
Amazing.
transformational for both me as my business, for the flow of money into our home, into my bank account, And now as a result, I have a visual assistant on board with me. So I'm building my team as well within White Sage.
Oh my God, amazing. Oh my God, I didn't know that. That's fantastic. I'm so happy for you because it's just like such a transformation from when you started and it was like, don't really have any clients and I don't know, like we're starting and there was a lot of drama and stuff going on for you.
Yeah, like we would have been, like every house, money was coming in, which was flushing out as fast as it wouldn't even, I'd say, it barely even hit the bank account and it was gone. Struggling, to be quite honest. It was, down to the last pennies in the bank account, just saying, where's the next money coming from? And even still, like my husband he's just like, and I suppose for anyone who is who have joined the group and who are thinking of joining your group, Patricia, which is absolutely amazing. I would have been lost without it. But my husband still doesn't believe in it, but he knows there's something. Like this year again, he's like, Emery, where's all this money coming from? And I was like, really? But I just say nothing. I just go with the flow because he said it's not his thing, and that's fine too. But he can see the shifts, like.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. It's so good. And Anne-Marie, just tell me, because I know you're a decluttering like expert, and I would love for you to share in the group some like tips to get people going. Like, because, I have my insights around decluttering and my way of doing it, and you've obviously experienced it as part of Feng Shui Mastery. But I would love to hear, like, what would you say to people like who are just starting out on this journey with Feng Shui, with the decluttering, or maybe they've just come into this group and they're like, what's Feng Shui and decluttering, and this is all new to me.
Yeah. So I suppose decluttering is the biggest, and Patricia, you're always saying it. And even again last night, I did another 3 bags, and there's still more shifts happening. But decluttering it's the biggest part of the jigsaw, isn't it? It's just
A huge part.
major.
Yeah. Yeah.
It is huge after the remedies go in. But once you start decluttering, that's your letting go of, again, like if there's any clutter in whatever area of your life, in your home, that's where the stagnant energy is. It's just totally, there's major blocks, and once those blocks are released, that's when that's the magic happens.
Yeah, yeah, I love it. So if someone was going to start decluttering, where would you tell them to start? I always have my place where I recommend people to start, but where would you tell people to start?
And I can agree with you as well. I suppose start somewhere where you're not so sentimental, because we're very sentimental to clothes, especially because you might have paid a lot of money for them. There might be tags still on them. Your weight might be fluctuating. Start somewhere like just simple, as you'd say. And I remember starting with you, Patricia. Start with your knickers, your socks, somewhere that you're not emotionally attached to. Kitchen presses, somewhere that's, start small. It's baby steps. You're not going to take the house you're not going to declutter the house in a week or a weekend. It's a
Yeah,
slow
yeah.
process. And to do it in baby steps that is where the key is.
I love it. I love it. I love it. And once you're taking those baby steps, like I feel like there's a really good energy for people in terms of decluttering. For me, it's a synergy of like being clear with what you want and letting go at the same time. So like once you let go of something, like what are you replacing it with? A lot of people in the group learned where their southeast areas, where their prosperity area is in their home. And Anne-Marie knows well where that is, and I'm sure it's totally immaculate in her house. And it's that whole idea of like when you're thinking and decluttering that space, whatever has been there has been stagnant. As you said, it's just like holding up energy. And by literally just taking that out and being really intentional and mindful of what you're replacing it with will make a huge difference for sure. Like huge, huge difference. And then in terms of is there anything else like, do you have any processes that you would say to someone in terms of like if they did come to finding like something that is sentimental that they're finding hard to let go of, like what would you say to them?
With regard to that, I would say I'd always do a clarity pile. So when I go into clients' homes with my one-to-one hands-on sessions, Patricia, I'd say pop it into maybe a bag or a box, leave it there for 3 months, and think about it then. Come back to it in 3 months' time, and maybe then you were ready to let go, because the last step of decluttering is letting go. And if you can let go, think again, if you are not using it, who will use it? Who will benefit from it? And everyone benefits from it. Like even during the summer, I was drawing in items into the local charity shop, and my car was full to the brim. And they said their sales went up umpteen times because of all the amount of stuff coming in.
Yeah.
Like I'm benefiting first of all, I can help the client. The client is benefiting that she's letting go and welcoming in new energy and other things into her life, and the community is also benefiting. So like it's a vicious circle in a nicest way. It's everyone benefits from your clutter.
Yeah, exactly. And actually, I totally have an example of years ago, and I don't know. I think I shared it here in the group, or I shared it in my personal in the group with in our feng shui mastery group about like
Yeah.
years ago when I was living in Dublin, cycling around Dublin, and I had a pair of boots, like these black boots, and they'd holes in them. Bad feng shui. Like this is post my feng shui,
Uh,
before my feng shui days. And they were, I think I paid €20 for them years ago, and they'd holes in them. And I was cycling around in rain, a bit like what it's like here in Bali today. And I remember going, I have to let go of these, but I really need a new pair of boots. And I did not have
yeah.
the money for a new pair of boots. I was like, I'm going to have to magic it out of somewhere. And I went into this charity shop and I walked in and there's this perfect pair of brand new black leather, like Marks and Spencer's knee-high boots that were like the perfect little heel just for everyday wear. And they were like brand new. No one had ever worn them. And they were something, they were like, again, 20, they were so cheap. And honestly, at that time, I could not afford anything. Like a pair of new boots was like,
Yeah.
oh my God, like, because they're hundreds to get a pair of boots. And I swear to God, those boots, every time I
Yeah.
put them on, I was so grateful to that charity shop. I was so grateful
Yeah.
for the person who gave them away. So it's like, as you said, everybody wins. The charity shop wins, the person who gets the item, like, oh my God, those black boots, like, it was hard for me to let go of them because I was so grateful for them in the end. Like, and I wore them and everyone's like, I love your
Yeah.
boots. And I'm like, oh my God, I got them in a charity shop. And like, I'd be doing like singing bowl sessions and I'd be like, make maybe €10 or €5 from a yoga class. And this pair of boots just like lasted me like 2 winters. And I swear to God, like grateful or what. So there's that whole side of like, just thinking that the letting go can be difficult. But on the other side of it, there's somebody else that's going to benefit
Yeah.
from what you're letting go of. Like, so I love
Yeah.
that aspect as well. And really just like owning that as well.
Yeah.
It's like so great. And
And you know what,
I'm just,
Patricia, it's
yeah.
all about spreading the love. And I suppose as well, have you used in the last 12 to 18 months? And I did it, I
Yeah.
went back again now to my hot press last night. I had three items. And as you'd say, does it spark joy? If it doesn't spark joy, you're ready to let go. And welcome in something that you are going to love even more, which is most important.
I know. And I feel like that's one of the things that's like an evolving process. Like you're never, I feel like my wardrobe is now getting to a place where I see things and I'm like, I love that. I love that. And even you become more mindful with your shopping, like I
Yeah.
don't buy as much stuff anymore, but it's like you get more in tune with like what you love, what you're definitely going to wear. And,
Yeah.
here in Bali, it's quite easy because the seasons, like, but then you're not buying as much like cheap stuff and you just buy one thing that you're like, I'm going to wear that and last. And it's going to last, I'm going to love it. And if everyone goes,
Yeah.
oh my God, I love that. So it changes your whole world, especially.
Yeah.
So when it comes to your wardrobe and just your house, it feels much lighter and freer. So
Yeah.
I just love this. I could talk about decluttering all day, and I know you probably could as
I
well. But I would
know.
I would love to know or hear like one of your like success stories that you've worked with someone and did something shift for them, because we know the power of knowing what areas of your home is. And I have a great story I'm going to talk about decluttering after this one. But like one of your wins is someone who decluttered some part of their home and something that happened for them and for them.
I'm just thinking, even with the lady I was working with during the summer, as we were decluttering actually different areas of the home, there was money popping up in envelopes. It was coming up in hundreds everywhere. It was like, what? And I'd actually only forgotten it until you just mentioned it there. And it was like, I was like, that's, and they were interested in feng shui. They were kind of looking up different types of feng shui. But I was like, that's it. There's more of it, and there's more coming.
Yeah.
And it was just very funny actually going through it because like that, it was just coming out of brown envelopes in places. They were like, where was this coming from? And like they had over 30 years of clutter in their home.
Oh my
And it
God.
was life changing. Life
Yeah.
changing. Because I suppose what I do, I suppose, Patricia, is I help busy women who are emotionally, physically, and they're just struggling with clutter in any area of their home. And when that is let go, it's just amazing. But like
Yeah.
their overall well-being, Patricia, is just changes. Their whole life changes.
Yeah, amazing. God, the rain has just got so bad now. I was like, I better come in. It's really, really bad right here, so nobody will be able to hear us. And I just love that. And it's so interesting because when you do start decluttering, you can find like hidden treasure. And that's what I often
Yeah.
find when you find things like you're saying, the money popping up. It's just a hidden treasure, and you're like, hidden treasure. Oh my God, this is great. This is so good. So that is like one of the best parts is like the hidden treasures. And you find things that you're like that are interesting. Like the layers could be so interesting, but I wanted to share this story about decluttering because this lady years ago I went to, and you'll love this one, Marie. I went to a
Yeah.
talk. I was doing talks because I have a lot of clients who are single women,
And feng shui is really useful for helping people attract love. I've like one prime example, Anne-Marie, you see her in the group, Suzanne, she's just got engaged and bought a house. It's like so exciting. But
Yeah.
like so there was a woman who I went down to Wexford and did a talk for her group of single ladies. And I was telling them all about Ken and how amazing Ken was, and I'm just so grateful for him and being my soulmate and all of the work I'd done to kind of attract him into my life and feng shui in my bedroom and everything. And then she said, and she said to me, I stayed with her that night, and she said, I want my own Ken. I want my very own Ken. And I was like, okay. And like a couple of weeks later in this group here, we did a decluttering challenge. And it was so much fun and everyone was decluttering. And she was 100% on board. And I swear to God, about 2 weeks later, she messaged me and she said, you'll never guess what. I met a guy. His name is Ken. And he lives 2 doors down the road. Now, I am completely convinced, because I've been to her house, so I'm completely convinced that we actually, when she did the challenge, she decluttered her love and marriage area and a lot of stuff out of her life to really make space for this new person in their lives. And on the masterclass last night, I talked about the whole setting up your bedroom for love and marriage and calling in the one. But like, I just think there's so many opportunities when you embrace it. And now, some people often say to me and ask me this question, and I'm interested with you, Anne-Marie, your insights, because for me, when people say to me, oh, when they're thinking about joining Feng Shui Mastery, they'll often message and send me a message and say, oh, I've loads of clutter in my house. I think I might just start on the decluttering first. And when I hear that, I just go, yeah, you can do that. But why don't you do the other way? Because the awareness that you know about the areas of your home, you're going to be more inspired to declutter it. Because when you're standing to and you're like, this is my prosperity area, or this is my health area, like you're going to want to declutter it. And then you put the remedies in and it's going to shift that movement more. So it's a two-part process. But I like the idea of like putting your remedies in and then it's going to push you to sort yourself out. And what's your feelings about what I'm just like interested, basically?
When I started first, I was like, oh my God, had I the money for it? And like, it's not expensive or anything like that. It's very affordable. But like that, I was kind of saying, where we down to the last pennies? What would I have? Would I have money for it? And I was like, oh my God. But when I decided I was going for it, it was life changing because straight away, like even like a few weeks ago, there was like even like our kids, I suppose, first of all, the reason I probably joined it was, okay, the flow of money into our account. My relationship with my husband was, what? It was okay, nothing by it, but our relationship has totally changed. Intimate, it's blossomed, our communication with each other, everything has changed. Fighting with children, bickering, that is nearly gone. You never get that 100% because I have two small kids and I'd be fit to kill them. But that's normal. That's good. But different things like there's just money just flowing, clients are flowing. Only for going into functioning mastery with you, Patricia, I'd be still back there probably crying into my pillow, which I
Oh,
was because we were just in dire straits.
oh, thank you, Anne-Marie. And like, when Anne-Marie joined and when people join, we don't really know exactly what their situation is. Like they share
Yeah,
some of it in a questionnaire, in a private questionnaire with us. But
yeah,
when you have that desire for change, it's like honestly, Anne-Marie was like star pupil. She was honest. She's like, once you step in, it's like you just rise
yeah,
up into the momentum of it. And it was like, go, 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 go. Like I just love that because you were full power ahead.
yeah.
And I think that's one of the things people are a bit afraid that they've done an online course and they don't finish it or they don't finish it. And in the group is just so powerful and the momentum is just like so good.
And the support, Patricia, with you and all your team in the background in Bali, and just the support of all the women in the group is like, do you know what? Everyone is there. We all help each other along. And like I will say, first of all, when you start, there'll be a lot of fighting. As I remember Valerie last year, there was a lot of fighting. There was a lot of bitching, the whole lot. But that's just the shift in this thing's kind of maybe dropping things and breaking things. But that is just a shift of the energy in the house. And when that starts kind of settling, it's like, okay, it's just kind of a storm just brewing first at the start, but once that gets over, the hump is gone. And I found as well, like Trisha, if things are off, like a few weeks ago, there was small bit of bickering kind of coming on. The kids were even fighting with each other, and I was like, okay, back to my family and community area again, and just tune in and do like even a meditation. Ask your host what's going on, and then everything is settled again. It might be just something is just off, or maybe there's not enough water, or the moving metal or whatever isn't working, and then it's okay, everything is calm again. But there is, like, that's part of it. There is storms, but that is all good because the energy is moving.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure, for sure, for sure. I love it. I love it. And I love your share. Thank you so much. And your tips for people, like, about just getting on with it and starting small. And Anne-Marie, I know you're based in Clonakilty in Cork, so I know there's definitely some people from Clonakilty Cork, but will you share your website and your details here? And maybe you have like an online a download or something that people can get. And on the bottom of this link, you can post your details, your website and everything here for people to get in touch, to tune in, because, you know, you're just a wealth of knowledge. And I think that, honestly, I love, like, I think decluttering, I just see a friend of mine, message popping up from a friend of mine, and I go to her house. She always calls me to her house, and I sit on her bed, and she pulls out the clothes, and I'm like, gone, 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 gone. And like, I think that's probably similar to what you do when you're with people, but obviously not as harsh as me, because I'm just like, no, come on, get up. When it's your friend, I think it's a bit better. You can be less, you don't have to be tactful. But in terms of doing this, like, I think that it's a gift that you give to people, because it can be a very overwhelming process and scary process, and having someone to help you along the journey, it's just like so powerful. So I'm kind of really grateful that there's people like you doing this, and that you're doing it in Cork for people, but that you might do it further afield. I'm not sure outside of there, but definitely people follow Anne-Marie, get it, you know, to see what she's doing, because I just know her passion for what she does, and her passion and enthusiasm for doing our Feng Shui Mastery program. If that's anything to go by, like, she's literally so powerful and so good at, like, really just helping people, because, you know, even supporting people in the group and everything, you've just been amazing. So I'm so grateful to have you as part of our crew, our Feng Shui Mastery. And it's like, I think that the other part, it's almost like a family, because we're kind of getting to know, everyone kind of knows what they do, and because as it grows and as we evolve, we kind of get to know more people and about more people and their lives. So it's a powerful place. Anne-Marie, what would you say to anyone? Just a final, what would you say to anyone who's thinking about joining Feng Shui Mastery?
Do it. Just do it. Feng Shui rocks, I'll tell you that. That was my keynote last year, and I'm still going with it, and it is life-changing. Whatever it is, if it's you're having issues with family, with money, with your career, with just general well-being of your house and your home and everyone in it, and just do it.
Oh,
I have not looked back.
And I hope that people will just hear this and hear your enthusiasm and the transformation they've heard that you've had in your life. And you know what, if you join, you'll have Anne-Marie in the group as well, so you'll be able to get more hints for decluttering from her as well. Thank you, Anne-Marie. Thank you so much. I appreciate your time. Thank you for sharing. And if you post all the details below, hopefully people will be able to get in touch with you and learn from you and your gift of decluttering and really helping people lighten the load in their homes, because that is a real gift. Thanks, Anne-Marie. Have a great day.